of the Green Nurse podcast.
With Elise Bronstein.
Yes, Elise. Okay. So I think that should be working. Hey, everybody. It says we're live on YouTube.
Woo!
So I am new to doing these lives. I'm usually recording. However, we are stepping outside the box. I'm going to try something different. So I'm actually recording right now and we should be live on YouTube. So let's get started. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Green Nurse podcast, where we bring hope and inspiration for growth and healing. The Green Nurse platform likes to talk about progressive treatments to relieve suffering, to improve quality of life. We often talk about subjects to decrease stigma around these issues for healing. So today we're going to talk about spirituality and plant medicine. I'm presenting in December on spirituality as the root of cannabis care. And today we're going to include psychedelics into the conversation. So I'm going to introduce Elise Bronstein. She's a Reiki Master, a podcast producer, and host of Beautiful People. She's going to share her experiences with ayahuasca, her 10-day silent vipassana meditation, and she's also going to share about her podcast and what compelled her to start doing broadcast journalism and the types of patients and guests that she has on. So welcome, Elise. I'm so happy to be here. We've been doing some really cool work already together, and I'm excited to share your work on our platform.
I'm so happy to be here. I love what you do. We met several years back at a Sensi event, and I was fascinated by your story and the work that you do and the platform that you have created for people to connect with. So I honor you for doing what you do.
Oh, thank you. It took it took a lot for me to step outside the box, actually, in plant medicine. And I've shared this multiple times, has helped me to eliminate the box that says I must step outside the box. And I truly feel over the course of these past few years of working with plant medicine, cannabis, psychedelics, that the quality of my life has improved to such a point where I feel compelled to share this information. You know, at first I was plagued with stigma. And then once I came out of the closet, you know, it was like, woo, right?
I agree. Totally.
You know, like being able to eliminate the fear. And as we talked about before, fear stems from ego. And so truly, you know, my role as a clinician, as a nurse, so not only am I a registered nurse, a cannabis nurse, but I'm also a cannabis patient, activist. And so really teaching, educating, empowering people and patients that we come in contact with to make choices that are best for them. Truly, you know, when I say this, it's truly about living your best life. It's about doing the best you can with what you have right here and right now. And on this Green Nurse podcast platform, we love to share compelling stories of progressive therapies and treatments that people and patients have experienced and how it's actually worked to turn their lives around. So I'm really excited. You know, I am one of the founding members of the International Association of Psychedelic Nurses. I've been working in that space for about a year now. I'm still new, I'm still learning. I've never had an ayahuasca journey before. And so I'm really excited to hear your story about, first of all, what intrigued you, what compelled you, how you learned about it, what the actual treatment process was like, and now the benefits that you're seeing now. So I'm going to let you go. Elise, you're on.
Okay, so I'm going to get right into the ayahuasca. I will say that 2 years ago, I did a 10-day silent vipassana meditation retreat, knowing that I was going to do ayahuasca, but I did the 10 days beforehand just so that I understood that I had a solid foundation underneath me before I went into the plant medicines. And I know people that have done ayahuasca before doing the 10-day silent meditation retreat. So everyone's journey is very different. So I honor the process anyone takes. So I'm just planting seeds about vipassana and saying that that's what I needed to grasp footing on myself.
Okay, so let's talk about that journey first, because that kind of makes sense. Yeah, let's talk about the 10-day silent retreat and how that helped your mental, emotional, spiritual self. which then
Okay.
led you to do ayahuasca. So that's cool. All right. I didn't
Okay.
know what the sequence was. So now I know you were in silence for 10 days. I want to know what that was like.
Yeah. So 10 days of no reading, no writing, no talking, no eye contact. It's called Vipassana meditation. It's free. They have facilities all over the world, and it's donation based. So if you do it and you get something out of it, the whole place functions on donations. I can't think of anywhere else on the planet that works this way. The food is organic, the water's beautiful, the sleeping facility is amazing. I did it in Shelburne, Massachusetts, and I sign up. Yeah, they have, the facility is amazing. That's actually one of the first facilities in the US that was created. Vipassana means to see things as they really are. It's a logical process of mental refinement through self-observation. So every day we watch videos, but how it works is there's a bell schedule. So you wake up at 4:30 a.m., you go to bed at 9:30 p.m. You wake up, you meditate. The bell schedule puts you into a rhythm, because obviously when you first get there, you lock up your phone. And every day as you're in this, it's very guided. So the bell rings, you go to the meditation hall, the bell rings again after meditation, you go to breakfast, and every day you become more and more inside of yourself. And I know a lot of people said to me, well, Elise, isn't it weird that you're just sitting with yourself and you can't make eye contact with other people? Like, how do you do that if you are with other people? Everyone understands the rules, and no one wants to look at other people because everyone is having their own sacred, spiritual, just self observation moment that you don't want to ruin for someone else. You know, some people are crying the whole time because that's what they need. Some people are sitting in a chair the whole time because that's what they need. Some people are pacing through the woods because that's what they need. For me, after breakfast, I would pace through the woods in circles and circles and circles. Some woman I know was just sitting in a chair the whole time. And I remember thinking, like, how is she just sitting in a chair the whole time? After the 10 days, I ended up talking to her. She's an incredible, incredible woman. Goes to show how much just unnecessary judgment I had about, oh, in these 10 days, you're sitting in the chair. Oh, I'm pacing through the woods. It was very, you learn about yourself throughout the process and so much after. So on the fourth day, there's a 2-hour sit. And in the 2-hour sit, I remember it's very uncomfortable. I didn't know how I wanted to position myself. And you go through so many feelings when you're sitting still for 2 hours. I will go back and say that the technique is taught to you. So I went into this with absolutely no meditation experience at all. I went on a date with a guy who was like, I did this 10-day silent meditation retreat. I went home, signed up. We have not talked since. He is not the one for me, but he's that's what, really nice guy. Just, it didn't work out. But that's how I did it. So no meditation experience. And you learn about meditation throughout the days that you're there. So every time that you go into the meditation hall, there's a video teaching you the technique. So you focus on your breath underneath your nose. And as you focus on the breath, you get more and more connected to your breath. If you just breathe from your nose, you learn to feel the sensation of your breath on your upper lip. So if you take a deep breath in, then you focused on your breath on your upper lip. And then as the days go on, you proceed to feeling your breath, but then also getting connected inside of your body and feeling the sensations that you have from the top of the head, down the arms, down the back, down the legs. So you learn this technique. And on the fourth day is the first 2-hour sit. And I remember being in excruciating pain, thinking that my legs were going to fall off. And then something happened when I let go of the excruciating pain, that I was in this euphoric bliss. And there's just tears pouring down my face. And it's not sobbing tears. It's just tears of release of so much attachments and just things that I were trapped in my subconscious and trapped in my body physically that were just let go of. And something that I took from that moment was that I always wanted to be first. Like, I need to be first in line. I just want to be first. And after that 2-hour sit of the tears pouring down my face, I was the last one in the meditation hall, and I was the last one in line to get lunch. I was just the last one of everything that day. And it was just a big sigh of relief, and just, I was in bliss. But
Mm,
then after this blissful feeling, I remember the following day I was attached to the blissful feeling. So how do I get it back? So then when I'm sitting in my meditation, I'm playing games with myself where I can feel the pain coming back into my legs, and I'm running away, running away. And then I'm feeling the blissful, amazing feelings of just being present in my body, and I'm trying to get closer, and then it pulls away. So I see these mind games that I'm playing with myself, and I see that now in life. and
right.
and it's, I imagine you have so many questions.
I
It's a
do.
beautiful, yeah.
I'm very curious to know what, and if you could even just talk a little bit about what that meditation entailed,
Mhm.
because sitting for 2 hours, like I can imagine, like I have a chronic myofascial pain syndrome. I don't live in that story, but it's still, because I'm human, it still comes up.
Mhm.
So it would just be very, and I know a lot of too my pain has to do with me still processing the emotions that need to come out. But like, what was the actual technique of the meditation? If you could share it in like a couple minutes as to
Yeah.
how you were able to move through and let go of that pain.
So going back to the different pains that every human being feels when they're in their meditation, I chose to do the crisscross applesauce position. Some people had to sit up against the wall. Some people requested a chair. So when you really need to speak up about what you need, there's people all around to support you and help you. I know a lot of people did sit in the chair for the whole time. The technique in the Vipassana meditation, they mention how it's very challenging to teach it to someone because it's the experience. So you can't even go for 2 days until you do the 10 days, because the
Right.
technique is so eradicating so much suffering in the body that it takes the 10 days to understand what the technique is. But there's no vocalizing anything, there's no talking. What it really is a focus on your breath, on your upper lip. And then after getting really in rhythm with the breath that you feel on your upper lip, you then sit, and with your breath, you go down your body. And
Okay.
and
So
as you, ah, frozen. I don't know if I'm still live on Facebook, so I'm just gonna call Sherry. We'll give her a call. It just froze, but it says I am the host now. So I don't know if I'm still live on Facebook. Is there any way you can come back? Okay. So do you want me to? Okay. I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to continue. Sherry's going to be back, and I'm going to continue talking about the retreat. So Sherry's going to be back in a moment, everyone. Thanks for holding. But I will tell the story of Sherry had asked me what the meditation technique is. And as I mentioned before, it's very difficult to share the technique because it's the 10 days of experience. What people have asked me is, well, with this whole technique and the experience that you have, why can't you share it? And it really is because you do such deep work on yourself that you're only able to understand the power of yourself and your breath when you go deep within yourself. And you're only really able to do that when you lose the distractions of everyday life, such as television, phone, reading, writing. But I will say that when you're sitting with yourself and your breath, focusing on your body, there's a lot of shit that comes up. I hopefully I'm allowed to say shit, but there's things that come up that are so deeply embedded into your body that the you don't even realize what they are until they're out. So when I had done my 2-hour sit and I was in excruciating pain, then I was in bliss. I was only able to get to that state because I was so deeply inside of myself. And what I find really beautiful about this technique is that Christians do it, Jewish people do it, Buddhists do it, all religions in all walks of life, and all people from every location you can possibly imagine, because you really find this deeply soulful and beautiful experience within yourself, even when it is challenging. And it's so beautiful because to find the power within yourself allows for you to understand the power in others and to see so much light in other people. And that's something that I got out of it as well, because I was able to see how the mind games that I'm playing with myself, it's not my fault. It's just how I am. And it's my responsibility to get rid of them. So when I see other people that have anger or resentment trapped inside of their body, it has given me the opportunity to have so much more love for them. And by having so much love for them, I'm able to see that they're just unaware of their subconscious behaviors and their attitude and their choices that they're making, because their subconscious is guiding them. And it's their responsibility to connect to their subconscious and understand how it's negatively impacting them. But it's also not their fault for it existing in the first place. It was my choice to go on this 10-day silent meditation retreat. Some people don't want to choose that as a priority. I did. I don't think there is right or wrong. It just really is beautiful. I'm going to pause here and see if Sherry's back, or if we should. Hey, hi, redo. Yep. Yep. Well, okay. Okay. That sounds great. Everyone, thank you for listening. Sherry and I will be back. Sherry Tuckis is amazing. There was a technical difficulty. Thank you for watching and tuning in. And sorry for the technical difficulty.